every single person on that day will have enough to make him careless, no matter who you are, careless of others.
وجوه يومئذ مسفرة ضاحكة مستبشرة.
Faces on that day, some faces. The people are running around in a state of almost unconsciousness, not knowing what's happening. When the great shout appears, as-sakha, some faces you will be seeing bright, like light. You can see the faith in that face. They will be rejoicing, they will be laughing. These faces will be laughing at the glad tidings that they have been given. While others,
ووجوه يومئذ عليها غبرة ترهقها قترة أولئك هم الكفرة الفجرة.
while other faces will be dark, dust-stained, covered with absolute darkness. Black. You can see the evil in that face. You can see the evil, the wickedness in that face. There will be al-kafaratul fajara, the disbelievers, the evil, wicked, mischievous people. May the Almighty Lord make us amongst those whose faces are bright, light, shimmering, glimmering with faith on the day of as-sakha, on the day of the shout. Allahumma ameen, Allahumma ameen, Allahumma ameen. Likewise on the day in the last, another name for that day Allah Ta'ala mentioned is Al-Qari'ah, the striking, the thumping, the beating. As the Almighty Lord says in Surah Al-Qari'ah,
القارعة ما القارعة وما أدراك ما القارعة.
the striking, the beating, the thumping. And what would make you know what the striking is? And then again, what would make you know what the striking is? It will be
يوم يكون الناس كالفراش المبثوث.
on that day, men will be like moths scattered about everywhere, running around, going crazy, as if they were bewildered.
وتكون الجبال كالعهن المنفوش.
And the mountains will be like wool, carded wool, flying in the atmosphere, with no gravity to hold them. They'll be flying like clouds in the sky.
فأما من ثقلت موازينه.
As for those whose scales of good deeds are heavy,
فهو في عيشة راضية.
he will have a pleasant life, and the pleasant life here is paradise.
وأما من خفت موازينه.
As for he whose scales of good deeds are light,
فأمه هاوية.
لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله. His life will not be a pleasant one. Instead, it will be a pit of fire.
وما أدراك ما هي.
And what would you make you know what this is?
نار حامية.
It is no other than a hot, blazing fire. Nasallallahu al-afiyah. The unbelievers on that day, this word al-Qari'ah hits with its engulfing horrors. The unbeliever will look in a state of horror, scared, as he witnesses this dreadful disaster, this great catastrophe. All the enjoyment on that day he will forget as though it never ever happened. All the fun, the laughter, the mockery, the clubbing, the discoing, all the alcohol, the drugs, all the ladies, all the men, all that will go away as though it never ever happened. As the hadith mentions, when he is just dipped for 1 second in hellfire, just one dip, he forgets the whole life he lived, the whole life, due to the heat of that fire. And thus, when he sees this, he will wish that he is dust. يوم ينظر المرء ما قدمت يداه وَيَقُولُ الْكَافِرُ يَا لَيْتَنِي كُنْتُ تُرَابًا. On that day when man will see what his hands had forwarded, he will say, woe to me, would that I had been dust. We ask the Almighty Lord that we are on that day not in a state of fear, not in a state of regret. Instead, on the day of Al-Qari'ah, the thumping, the beating, the striking, we are no other than those whose scales of good deeds are heavy and thus placed in eternal bliss and not eternal damnation. This, insha'Allah ta'ala, is all we have tonight. We will continue this lesson, part 2 of the names of the day of resurrection, in our following lesson, and thus insha'Allah will be followed by the day of gathering. وآخر دعوانا الحمد لله رب العالمين. And we thank our dear beloved brother Mustafa for his beautiful recitation tonight.